Daniel was known in the village as a strong and proud man. He walked with confidence every day, believing he was always right. People respected Daniel, but they also feared his stubborn heart. He rarely listened to advice and almost never admitted his mistakes. Lena was different from him. She was kind, patient, and always tried to keep peace in their small village home. That evening, a small disagreement turned into a painful argument. Daniel raised his voice, while Lena tried hard to calm him down. Lena asked him for one simple thing. She wanted him to say sorry and admit his words had hurt her deeply. But Daniel's pride stood in the way. He folded his arms and chose silence instead of the apology she needed. Lena waited, hoping he would change his mind. When he didn't, her eyes filled with sadness and quiet disappointment. Without shouting or anger, Lena packed a small bag. She believed time apart might soften Daniel's hard and stubborn heart. She stood at the doorway for a moment, looking back. Daniel stayed silent, thinking she would return like she always did. That night, Daniel slept alone for the first time in years. He didn't know that silence had already changed everything forever. When Daniel woke up the next morning, the house felt strangely empty. There was no laughter, no movement, only silence around him. He told himself Lena would return before sunset. She always did after their arguments, so he pushed his worry away. But as the day passed, unease slowly crept into his heart. The silence no longer felt peaceful, only heavy and uncomfortable. Villagers noticed Lena was missing and began whispering quietly. An elderly man watched Daniel closely, seeing pride fighting regret inside him. The elder finally spoke to Daniel with calm wisdom. He warned him that words left unsaid often become lifelong regrets. Daniel listened, but said nothing in return. He still believed saying sorry would make him appear weak and small. That night, Daniel could not sleep again. Lena's sad eyes replayed in his mind, haunting his thoughts without mercy. By morning, a villager came running with troubling news. Lena had fallen sick after collapsing near the neighboring village. Fear finally broke through Daniel's pride. His heart pounded as he realized his silence might cost him everything. Without hesitation, Daniel ran down the dusty village road. For the first time, sorry was louder in his heart than his pride. Daniel ran until his chest burned and his legs felt weak. Each step reminded him how much time he had wasted in silence. As he neared the neighboring village, fear tightened his chest. He prayed quietly, hoping Lena was still alive and breathing. The healing hut stood at the edge of the village, dim and quiet. Daniel slowed down, afraid of what he might soon discover inside. Inside the hut, the air smelled of herbs and smoke. Lantern light revealed Lena lying weak, her face pale and tired. Daniel rushed to her side and fell to his knees. Seeing her so fragile broke the pride he had held onto for years. With a shaking voice, Daniel whispered that he was sorry. He admitted his silence had been cruel and deeply wrong. Lena slowly opened her eyes and looked at him. A weak smile formed, showing she had waited for those words. Daniel held her hand tightly, promising never to let pride win again. Tears fell freely as he begged her to stay with him. The healer watched quietly, then lowered his head. The illness had already gone too far for healing herbs to help. Lena's breathing grew slower as Daniel called her name. She passed away knowing he finally understood the cost of silence. Daniel stayed beside Lena long after she was gone. The lantern burned low as his heart filled with unbearable regret. He held her hand, hoping this was only a terrible dream. But the silence in the room confirmed a truth he could not escape. Outside, the night grew colder and darker. Daniel realized some words lose their power when spoken too late. At dawn, villagers gathered quietly around the hut. No one spoke, but everyone understood the weight of his loss. Daniel walked back to the village alone. Each step felt heavier than the last, filled with memories and guilt. The house felt empty without Lena's presence. Her laughter, her voice, and her kindness echoed painfully in his mind. Days passed, but the pain did not fade. Daniel spoke less and listened more, learning through silent suffering. He began helping others without seeking praise or thanks. This time, his actions were guided by humility, not pride. Village children watched Daniel closely. They saw a man changed by loss, teaching lessons without speaking. At night, Daniel whispered apologies into the wind. He hoped his words might somehow reach the one he had lost. Each night, Daniel sat outside his hut, staring at the stars. He wondered how life might have been if he had spoken sooner. The village slowly returned to its normal rhythm. But inside Daniel's heart, the pain remained sharp and constant. Some villagers avoided him, while others showed quiet compassion. Everyone knew his pride had cost him the person he loved most. Daniel accepted their silence without complaint. He understood that forgiveness, like trust, takes time to return. He worked harder than before, helping in the fields and homes, not to escape guilt, but to become a better man. When people argued, Daniel gently stepped in. He reminded them that pride often speaks louder than love. The village children gathered around him in the evenings. They listened closely as he shared lessons learned through painful loss. He taught them that saying sorry does not make you weak. Instead, it shows strength, courage, and respect for others. Years passed, and Daniel grew older and wiser. The regret never fully left, but it shaped who he became. Every morning, he visited Lena's resting place quietly. He spoke to her as if she could still hear him. He thanked her for teaching him the value of humility. Even in death, her kindness continued to guide his life. Daniel became known for his patience and wisdom. People now came to him for advice and understanding. When asked about his past, Daniel spoke honestly. He never hid the mistake that changed his life forever. He warned others not to wait when words matter most. Silence, he said, can destroy what love tries to protect. The village slowly healed, just as Daniel had. Pain turned into wisdom, and regret became guidance. On quiet evenings, Daniel watched the sunset peacefully. He had learned to live with loss without letting it harden him. He smiled when children laughed nearby. Their joy reminded him why kindness must always come first. Daniel knew he could never change the past, but he could protect others from repeating his painful mistake. If love ever asks for an apology, listen carefully. Those words may be more valuable than pride will ever be. Say sorry while you still can. Some chances never return once silence takes their place.